So here we are, first recorded video in a very, very long time. I've been on and off Zwift over the last 12 months. It's probably been around about 8-9 months since my last video. I just lost a little bit of interest. I wasn't able to ride much, so my ability went down and I just struggled. But I've started riding a little bit more. I got up to a really good point just before the summer. Probably riding to my greatest power levels ever, where I was well into the Cat Cs, and I did plenty of Zwift Cat C rides and did alright. But since then, summer holiday and not so much time in the October and November, so my ability has decreased somewhat. And riding on a Sunday morning at 8:45 after a few glasses of wine the night before is always not a good idea for me. And obviously this is an endurance ride, over 50k, over 800 metres of climbing. It was never going to be a good thing, but I expected to do a little bit better than I did. But all in all, it's just quite a disappointing ride for myself. So settled in now, 2 minutes into the ride. All the people who've bombed past me from all the different categories are now off at their own pace, and I'm hoping to catch on to a group. So I get a group of 5 of us together, and over the next few kilometres the size of the group slightly increases and we get a bit of a pace going. Well, when I say get a bit of a pace going, you can see my average is 211 watts at the moment. That's not as high as I would be. I've been doing rides in the 230s, but obviously with this being a 50k ride, then I'd expect it to be lower. But you know, we're only a couple of miles into the ride, and wanting to make a decent start is always what you're looking for. But yeah, you know, you can see a group of 6 now, and hopefully we'll stay together and carry on with a good pace. The climb comes very early in the ride, and it's a huge climb. So yeah, I wasn't looking forward to it, but we'll see how we get on. So this is the point where I start looking for Ryan Condon, the YouTuber. I knew that he was doing the ride. I could see that in the Zwift companion app that he had joined, and I actually saw him go past me right at the start of the ride. He was the reason why I had chosen to do the ride, so that I could try and ride alongside him and try and compete with him. I think he is a similar ability, but I think I'm fully aware that he's been riding in Cat Cs and doing reasonably well recently, so I knew it would have been a struggle, and climbing is not my idea of being efficient, really. So yeah, I was flicking through. I think on one of these screens you would have seen his name just in front. So he wasn't too far ahead, but obviously we were only 4 minutes into the ride. So here's our group. We're on our way to the bottom of the hill. We started off in a easterly direction after the starting gates, and then did a U-turn through a few of the sprints, and then we're heading back in a westerly direction now to the bottom of the hill where the FTP test is. So we'll get there shortly. 3k into the ride, and it's not too far away now, so I'd expect the group to start dismantling, and then we can take it from there. So here we are, bottom of the climb, 3.6 kilometres in length, 305 metres of vertical climb, currently positioned 195th. You can see the percentage incline ramping up over 5% there, and you're likely just to see this group just dismantle. So now we're a kilometre into the ride, 10% incline, my cadence is down to 70 and my heart rate's increased to 157, and I'm only pushing 180 watts, so it's a bit of a struggle now. So now we're on the switchbacks right on the top. You can see that I'm still not too bad with my watts. It did dip off for a bit, but moving up a little bit further now. So you can see on the graph above in the middle of the screen that we're currently riding at 12%, not too far until it flattens off and we get to the flag for the top of the King of the Mountains. I'm struggling here, my legs are like jelly. I'm still not too bad with the watts, 195 average for the whole ride. The last sector though dropped me down to 167, so you can see that I've been struggling, but I'm going to get there, hoping to regroup, and we'll see how that goes. I've got somebody coming up behind me called Mac. So coming close to the top now. I've had a bit of a battle with Mac, and you can see a place behind me. He'll go past me in a minute. My watts were very up and down, really struggling towards the end. So Mac goes past me here, and so I thought I'd put in a bit of a burst, try and keep up with him, try and get a toe down the hill. I'll tell you a little bit more about Mac in a minute, but I'll just update you on what my final wattage was. for the climb and see what it comes up with. So you'll see on the sign there, ride on. Your grade 188 watts, which is poor, but I suppose I need to be taking into consideration that I'm doing a 52 kilometre ride. So here we go, back down the other side. Where's M-Mac? He's now 7 seconds ahead. I think M-Mac, I haven't checked his Zwift power stats, but I think he was of a heavier build than me, and his weight gave him a large advantage. I'd be interested to see that, and I will check that at some point, because he just went away from me, and every time I dug in and every time I was trying to get a toe off him, I couldn't keep up with him. So here now, I've actually caught up with him, but this is after we've got back on the flat, just on the end of the first route, you'll see, and riding alongside him, and I'm thinking I'm doing really, really well again here, all things considered. M-Mac's now behind me, catching up with a few of the people in front, and I've been able to haul back a few people up to 197th. That's not mainly because of me overtaking people, that's more due to me others dropping out. So second lap now, just about to start the hill again. M-Mac's right behind me, and I'm thinking, well, if he is heavier, he's going to struggle to climb, and I'm going to push away from him here now. So that was my intention, and that was my plan. Let's see how it all pans out. So we've done the straights, we're now on to the switchbacks, the U-turns at the top of the hill just before we get to the end, and you can see M-Mac has completely lost me, completely left me behind, 23 seconds ahead. My legs are dead. I'm deciding not to push a great deal of wattage, but to spin, and if you compared my revolutions per minute on this lap compared to the last one, you'll see that this time round there were a lot more. So just about to reach the top of the climb for the second time round, and you can see that M-Mac has completely left me 1 minute 15 seconds behind now, which is a huge margin. I think we get to the top and you'll see that my grade is a 172, which is a little bit lower than the first time round, expected I suppose, but yeah, big struggle to get to the second time round. So as well as M-Mac catching me and going well ahead of me, somebody I've known for quite a long time and ridden in Target 2.5 with Matt King is Ian Davis, and you can see he's now ahead of me. He was a considerable time behind at the start of the first lap and around the first lap, over a minute, but you can see that he has clawed back that minute and gone ahead by a minute. So yeah, very impressive by Ian. We had a chat as we went round a little bit, but this is just me trying to get to the end now. I was absolutely goosed. I was able to push some good watts from time to time, but you'll see an average of 168 is, that's below 2 watts for me. I'm 92 kilograms, so riding it below 2 watts is poor for me. So let's see how we get on next week. Not sure what time ride I will do this weekend on the Sunday, but all in all, a bit of a dull ride from me. It was very lonely. Obviously it's an endurance ride, and that's how long you're riding for, but on my own for long periods. Hopefully next week, with it being a lot flatter and literally being on a flat route, I will be able to get a bit more of a toe from people and get into a bigger group, which is where I ride most efficiently. So last couple 100 metres to go. No sprinting me. I wouldn't expect to be sprinting. I don't know how other people got to the end and what their performance was like at the end in regards to sprint, but no, just keeping it at pace. Got it up to about 250, but certainly not a sprint by any means, and finished 190th. Looked through all the stats later on to see where everybody else was. Ian, I think, finished about 2 minutes ahead of me, which was pleasing for him, I would imagine. And like I said, all the details of me not being a climber must be well known by now from what I've said so far. And it was a struggle, but looking forward to the next ride. Looking forward to get on the bike a little bit more during the winter and getting my average watts around about the 2.7 or above, which is the highest I've ever been, and I was around 6 months ago. There you can see Ryan Condon. He finished around about 10 minutes ahead of me, I think it was. I'm not entirely sure, I'd have to check again, but I think he was about 10 minutes ahead. So that's going to be a challenge if I'm going to stay with him on a flat route next week. Obviously more powerful than me, but riding round and finishing almost dead last is pretty embarrassing. But that's the journey. So take care, everyone. Speak to you again soon, and I'll be making more videos hopefully now. I'll get back into the habit. Okay, cheers, bye.